GM is laying off 900 workers in Kansas City after investing $4 billion into the plant that makes the Chevy Equinox and the Chevy Bolt. Now, this is really interesting because after this initial investment, I thought this plant was going to continue to grow and do really well. And the auto manufacturers are all over the place right now. I have to admit, like, I just read a story yesterday, guys, about how Toyota is going to be building a whole bunch more EVs after just putting out statements like 6 months ago that they're going to go heavily and focus into hybrid. I really think the automakers are all over the place right now in the United States and just really don't know what to do. I think that with the EVs, the same structural problem that's been in place, guys, never got fixed, which is like they don't have the charging stations. They're too far apart. They take too long. And, you know, I get that most people that use EVs are going to be using them. That's what I think the Chevy Bolt is, are going to be using them like at work and to home. So that's generally what people use their EVs for. But if anybody's going to road trip it or go longer, then they have to do the charging station route. And people just got sick of that because the availability of gas is just so much easier than it is for EVs. I don't feel bad for Chevy at all. Really, like the quality of the cars has not improved. Like Chevy, Ford, Stellantis, all these American, you know, like Jeep, like these brands are not improving the quality of the vehicles. And I don't think that anybody should be buying them until they do, quite frankly, because if you're going to buy something, like I just give you an example. I was in the market 6 months ago to buy a truck. I couldn't afford a new truck because they're crazy right now, the prices. So I ended up looking for a used truck. I wanted something under 50,000 miles and I could spend a max of $35,000. So I was really had my heart set on a Silverado. I think they're the best looking truck that's out there. But reliability wise, I knew that getting a Tundra was probably going to go more than double the miles of a Silverado. So it's a bad financial purpose for me to get the Silverado. And I know that there's rare exceptions where you have F-150s and Silverados that go a long way, but a lot of them are just breaking down at 150, 160,000 miles from all the research I did, needing a new transmission at that point, where if I got a Tundra and I took care of it, which I'm sitting in right now, the Tundra, I ended up finding one that had a trim that I really liked and looked good, so I got it. It was just made more sense because if you're going to have these cars that generally break down at 150, 160,000 miles, or maybe we'll go 200 at a stretch where you can drive a Honda or a Toyota to 300,000 or 400,000. It just doesn't make good financial sense to me, guys. So I don't feel bad for these auto manufacturers. I feel bad for the people that are getting laid off. But, you know, as long as people keep buying these cars, and I totally get the patriotic thing of trying to buy American made. I get that, guys. But for me, just for a financial decision, it doesn't make sense. And I think Chevy's got to do a big turnaround along with Ford and Stellantis, or they're just going to keep dropping because the quality just hasn't improved. What do you guys think?
GM, General Motors, is having more layoffs. This is not a good sign for the overall economy, as well as specifically the automobile industry. It was supposed to have a good effect on American manufacturers like GM, Ford, but the tariffs seem to have the opposite effect. No one is really sure what's exactly happening with the administration, what exactly they're doing. We thought everything was supposed to be better, but we're just seeing more and more pain. We know that cars are going to get more expensive, and these layoffs are absolutely devastating, as it's going to flood the job market with more and more people searching for jobs, which means there's going to be more competition, and it's just going to be harder for a lot of people. There's just less bargaining power out there, and it means a lot of these companies can pay their employees less because there's so many people they can choose to hire from. It's absolutely insane. Take a look at the rest of these clips.
GM just laid off over 1,000 employees, and yet another sign that the auto industry is struggling and that the broader economy is struggling. GM joins other large employers in making job cuts in the second half of the year, following heavy job cuts generally in the first half of the year. GM's statement after they made the layoffs said that they wanted to simplify for speed and excellence, make bold choices, and prioritize the investments that will have the greatest impact. Of course, that's just a lot of corporate speak for we want to save money. Now, interestingly enough, GM has been making software a focus of its operations in preparing for the cars of the future. But if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that customers are rejecting new cars specifically because they don't want all the bells and whistles, as they view them to be unreliable. So what's likely happening is that GM is realizing that it's not getting the return on investment that it thought from having such large software teams. And someone higher up said, let's pull back on the spending. Either way, the high price of new cars coupled with high interest rates are pushing the auto industry further into a recession right now. It looks like GM is trying to slash costs wherever it can. As always, for more interesting and informative stories on tech, business, the economy, and jobs, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel here and on Instagram and YouTube.
Well, you knew it was only a matter of time before one of the big corporates tried to figure out how they could lay off a bunch of people, mass layoffs without severance. And it appears Meta's going to be the one that tests this. They announced layoffs of up to 5% of their workforce. I think that's close to 4,000 employees. And they're using performance reviews in order to decide who they're letting go. Now, there's mixed signals. So if you're in Meta and you've got one of these severance packages, let me know. But I heard it's going to be minimal compared to what a traditional layoff package is. So maybe they're trying to skirt around the legal issue. Again, this just brings it into call, are they phantom pips? Are these folks at a performance review after 20 years without any issues? They got one performance review and now they've been terminated. To me, this sounds like a way to turn over the folks they want out of the organization subjectively. You know, could it be age related? Could it be cost related? I would bet almost everything I have that it's going to be cost related. Because they even said that they're going to backfill some of these positions. Guess what? They're going to backfill with cheaper people or offshore talent in order to do this. So again, I think this is just the first step. You're going to see a lot of.
We have some breaking news right now. General Motors is laying off 1,000 of its employees, despite the fact that the company is about to see record-breaking profits this year. No one is talking about this, and it's time we hold big corporations like General Motors accountable. According to the automaker is realigning its priorities in the EV space after the public adoption of EVs has not been as fast as GM once expected. And this is also partially likely due to the fact that the Trump administration is literally cutting the EV tax credit that has provided tax credits to thousands of Americans who have purchased EV vehicles. And this comes after the company let go of another 1,000 salaried employees just back in August. Now, the vice president of the United Auto Workers, the union that represents these auto workers who were laid off, made a statement this morning saying, quote, GM is trying to cut around 50 UAW jobs when they're making record profits. We will fight for our laid off members with the full force of our contract. I think it is absolutely abhorrent that big companies can make record profits, yet still cut salaries, especially at a time where there's a lot of uncertainty over consumer pricing with possible tariffs. And also, it's literally the holiday season. Christmas is coming up, Hanukkah's coming up, and these employees won't have a job because of General Motors. And for the record profits that GM is about to earn is more than $14.5 billion. Let that sink in. Comment below your thoughts. Spread this to your friends, family, and loved ones so that they know what's happening and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
So I got laid off today, and I don't really know how to process this shit, to be honest with y'all. Like, on one hand, I feel like I should be upset and very angry because it's like it was unnecessary and unwarranted, and it was over something so simple. Like, bro, deadass, because I work for the federal government, right? And they literally, like, before the shutdown happened, we were supposed to get a contract extension, and the freaking contracting office did not submit our proposal on time. So we didn't get funding needed before the secretary, before the shutdown happened. So after the freaking shutdown, well, during the shutdown, like after it was announced and formalized Monday morning, we get a new contract back to us from their office, and it's for 44% less than what we're usually used to for an extension or a recompete. So it's like, the work is still gonna get done, but it's not gonna be done to par now. So it's like, you know, I don't wanna go too in the weeds of what I do, but it's like, the work is important, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it really does protect a lot of things in this country. And the fact that we're just not gonna do it anymore to full capacity is insane to me. But on the other hand, it's like, you know, on the corporate side, because I'm a contractor, management had high marks for me, only praises of the work that I've done over the past 3 years. And it wasn't really anything personal with like my own performance. It wasn't because of AI or anything like that, but I think it really just sat in with me that politics is personal, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, the way that a lot of people acted in this last presidential election cycle is so fucking selfish to me, bro. It's like, it didn't have to be this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that advocated for people not to vote. You know what I'm saying? The people that voted for this freaking stupid ass administration, you know what I'm saying? This has tangible impacts on me now. So it's like, what's the expression? Chicken has come to roost, or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Either way, I'm face to face with the reality of people's politics, and I've never had that, you know, happen before. Politics has always been more abstract to me, but now it's like in my face, and it's literally because like of the administration, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard, but I'm in a fortunate position. Like, I have ample savings. I have a pretty good job offer potentially lined up that I should be able to step into by next week. So it's like, I'll bounce back, and if not, I'm really qualified, I can go and get another job. But it's like, some people don't have that experience. It's like, how do you process a layoff? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the religious side of it is like, I'm moving in expectation. I'm trusting in God. He's always provided for me. So it's like, I can't really be upset. But at the same time, it's like, I just got laid off today. And that's weird.
So I just got laid off from my finance job. And after 8 years of living in New York City, I am moving back in with my parents at 26 years old. And honestly, I have felt stuck ever since graduating college. But somehow I am feeling optimistic about this, and I am ready to challenge myself in a way that I never have. I'm a former Ivy League graduate. I played Division I football as a quarterback there, and I took the finance route just like everyone around me. And I have been fitting into this mold that is not me for nearly 5 years now. And I know the me of the last 4 years would take this horribly and see it as me being a failure, but I'm going to take a different approach. So here's my plan. I'm going to use this as a launching point to rediscover who I am, what I have passions about, what hobbies do I want to pursue? What career do I want to pursue? Do I want to build something myself, or do I want to join something that I truly believe in? And I'm going to document it all here. I know this is cliche. I know everyone is doing this on TikTok and Instagram, but it is helping people, and that's what matters. I am a very reserved person. All my friends would tell you that. They tell me that all the time. And I know I need to be more engaged in life. I need to be more social. I need to be willing to put myself out there more. So here I am, posting to TikTok for the first time ever, and I feel incredibly uncomfortable. This is really uncomfortable for me, and it's going to be really hard to keep this post up without the anxiety of people seeing it, but I'm willing to do that because I'm willing to change. As I live at home over the next however many months or however long it takes to find the next step, I will be documenting my days, my thoughts, and I'm just going to see what happens. To get an easy win, I'm going to start attacking my motivation in the gym, something that has fallen off tremendously in the past few months, years, and something that I cared about so much for the course of my life, and something that I want to fix but have struggled to day in and day out. So I'm going to start documenting that as I continue to find other things that I'm passionate about, as I continue to find out what I want to do with my career. I know, fitness, day in the life, all of that, everyone does it. It's cliche. It feels like it's everywhere, but it's not about that. It's not about, trying to do something that I think will help me stay accountable to myself, and something that'll help me push myself to be a better version of me. So I'll be moving home here in a couple days, and this is truly day one, ground zero, hoping to make a big change and be better and to be proud of myself. And if anyone has any interest in following along, feel free to follow, and we'll see where this goes.